Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hey guys, thanks so much for
We'll get
joining
started
us.
here in a second. We're going to make sure no one's jumping on.
Let me see here.
Sorry.
Guys, I'm Shara Mercer and this is Alex Arkle. And we're here today to do our Blink Power Hour. We may have some other folks jumping in here, but what we really want to do is make this kind of the most effective use of your time. So before we get started, we wanted to see if there's anything in particular that you guys really wanted to see or to get out, or if they had any questions, and we can kind of start there, and then we'll go into, kind of really how to put all your marketing together in the next hour.
Yeah, so you feel free if you want to put it in the chat or to hop on. We want to make sure that we can really hone in on what you guys, like any questions that you have about implementing it. And then if not, we'll start from the top.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, then we'll just get started here. Alex,
Sure, you want me to do it?
Yeah, if you should be able to share your screen there.
All right, let me hop in. I just had this up. Okay, so I'm going to go into the back end of the members portal here. Minimize this. All right, so really, well, so first off, this month we have a really easy to do pop by that we love. So that should be something that you should try to accomplish this month if you don't typically do pop bys. And then obviously we have our postcard, our email newsletter. Let's start with the newsletter. So the newsletter this month is all about thinking about the spring market. So the easiest way to send this is to send everything, or to basically do everything on the first of the month. That's what I always do, is I make sure that I set aside about 2 hours to plan out my social, go in and download the newsletter, edit it, and then send that out, or at least schedule it in my CRM. I use MailChimp personally. Our team uses something different, but like Constant Contact is one. But either way, whatever you use, you should be able to do this pretty easily. And really it's about, so when you go in here, you'll have every single one of these that you can kind of correspond with whatever theme you go with. So I typically tend to go with script. So I would use this first one. It's really easy. All you have to do is go in, add your headshot. And then in this one, I don't even know where my headshot is. So I'm just going to go in here and find something. Add your headshot, just pull it in. And then I usually make this a little bit larger. Go in, change your name. Add your information. Don't forget to add your Facebook and Instagram handle, change out your logo. And then when I download it as a JPEG.
And guys, you can also alter this newsletter. So for example, for mine this month, what I'm doing is I'm kind of taking out the top 8 fitness trends here, and I'm putting some of my more recent sold properties. So I'm just kind of changing it around. And so you can do various things, like you could drop a quick video in there. You could, really kind of alter it however you want to send that message out. But the great thing is, if you don't have time or you don't want to, you don't have to. So just want to give you guys that option. It's really, really easy to go in and to make edits if you'd like to do so, and to customize it just a little bit more.
Another thing that I'm going to add here is Alex mentioned putting your social handles on here. And we get this question a lot. People asking, if I'm using this newsletter, Alex is going to get to this, but you're going to be putting it into your CRM as a JPEG. And people always say, well, my links aren't live. How are people supposed to get to my social handles? I just put in the chat. A great tip for you is to use something like an e-contact card that you'll literally link this newsletter to an e-contact card that will give everyone all of your contact information, not just your social handles, not just your website. It gives them everything. So one that's great and free is called Blink It's like Blink, but with a Q on the end. I just put it in there. It's called Blink Me. We're not associated with them. They're just a free one that actually works great. So Alex, maybe you can show them where you would put that link in, but that's a great solution for not having live links on this email. I think it's on this newsletter. I think it's actually even a better solution.
Yes. So with the, like for, the QR code, you're talking about the QR code, right, Ange?
I'm actually talking about linking the entire newsletter to
well,
an e-contact link, but a QR code can be linked to the same thing.
You can do that. Yeah. So or if you put something in here and you wanted to change this out to like one big listing, you can change this to one link to the listing as well. So if you have a separate like page for it and you wanted to go in and put that, basically what you do, is I'm gonna pull it over. I would just basically put a link wherever you want to put it. Like if I'm going to associate it with, because when you download it, it'll have it wherever you click it. So if I wanted to link my handles, I could link that and I put in whatever that my handle is, or the one handle, or the QR, what Angie's saying, the e-contact code. Or if you have a CRM, most of them will also allow you to add your socials at the bottom. So you can have it here so that they can search you. But if someone wants to actually click on it in the MailChimp or in Constant Contact, you can usually do that there as well. So, and you can add a link to anything in here by just hitting this little link code here.
Well, I think, Alex, actually, I think what I was saying is we're going to be saving this as a JPEG, so links won't work. I'm saying when you're in MailChimp, you're going to be able to turn that entire JPEG into a link.
Yes, let me show you that. Sorry, I got distracted with trying to this stupid code. Okay.
It's always something, isn't it? I feel like these are the things that take forever, is the silly things that you don't think about.
Yes. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to quick create in MailChimp. I just will do an email. Most CRMs look the same, or similar. I'll just name this. And most of them have the same functions as well. So regardless of which one you're using, you can link this, and that's really the whole purpose of the newsletter, is to be able to go in here and just easily put it in and set it and forget it. So I just typically just choose like the base email right here. I'll delete all these extra tabs that I don't need, so that I can just put in, all I need is really this one right here, which is a photo. So if you don't have an image, you can drop one in. If you go and use the regular one, like the make your own template, I'm going to upload the JPEG that I recently saved. I guess I didn't save it, so I'm just going to use this one. The
great thing is also once you prep this one time in your CRM, like you can see Alex was prepping, deleting things that she doesn't need and prepping an image in there. The great thing is then in the future, this is already ready for you, and you can just duplicate that template and use it again.
Yeah. So I that was showing you one that I've done in the past. So like this one, I added my just solds. So as you can see, these are in here as well into this newsletter. And basically what Angie was saying is when I click on this, and it looks different in different CRMs, but there's usually a link button where you can link, and that's where you'll put in whatever link you want to link it to. If it's the contact card, if it's, the link to one of your website, for instance, but you should also have the option to change the bottom part or the footer of your email, where you can put your Facebook handle, your website, your Instagram, whatever else you have in there. And then it's that easy that you just will go into your subject, do something that's enticing, that's going to get people to actually open up the email. Don't just put March newsletter. If it's about the 8 fitness thing or eight fitness trends, do something that's going to get someone to open it up. And then make sure it's from your name, and then send. And it's that easy.
And again, the first time is the hardest, guys. So once you get this set up with all your handles and everything, it's like literally just pop in a new image every single month and send that on out.
And the thing that I love the most about most CRMs that most people don't even look at is you can go into you can see how many people opened up the email. So if you're sending out an email about a listing, whether it be a newsletter or not, make sure you go in and see if someone opened it up, if they clicked on it, because then you can reach out to them separately and just let them know more information if they're interested in more information about that listing. So make sure you look at your analytics of things. So
absolutely. But don't get discouraged either with your analytics. So on email newsletters, anytime we're sending out emails, we have like at least a 30% open rate. You know, that's usually is kind of at least what I look for.
Yep.
And that's actually one of the reasons why we have a strategy that's not just email newsletters. It's not just postcards. It's not just social media, because like Shara said, they have a huge following. And if they're only getting 30% of people that are opening their newsletters, that's good. That other 70%, how are we reaching them? So that's why, like we're going into postcards now, that's why we want to make sure we're consistent with each of these areas, because you want to make sure somehow you reach 100%. And you're probably only going to do that with a well-rounded strategy that works for you.
Yep. We got to meet people where they're at.
Yes. And the great thing about our postcards too, is you're usually able to use them as a farm postcard as well. So you can send them to your current database of buyers, sellers, and fear alike, but you can also use them to farm a neighborhood. So you can use them just as they are and not add any additional information, or you can add something, another call to action. We always try to put a call to action on them, right? So contact me for accurate property analysis. This is one I'm sending to my farm this month, where you can easily just download the as a JPEG again. And I will always increase the quality just to make sure that it's always going to look the sharpest, and make sure you also choose the one that matches your style, just so that you're staying branded across all mediums. So everything that you're sending out looks the same. So I'll choose the script. I'll choose the page 6, and we love Vistaprint because, and obviously you can choose to do like Keller Williams has Command. I think Berkshire Hathaway has one. Different brokerages have different ones. But the one reason I love Vistaprint is once you put in anything or any contact list, it saves it forever. So my farm that I'm going to farm all the time is going to have the list, and it's going to make this a 5-minute process. Now, obviously, once you put in a new list, it's going to take up a little bit more time. But here I'll show you. I usually just search, and we have the YouTube videos on how to do this very easily every single month as well. So you can go in there.
Yeah, they're at the top of the postcards page, on top of the newsletters page, the social media page. Everything has tutorial videos. If you feel a little lost, just remember, oh wait, there's a really simple video that's literally going to show you everything that we're showing you now, but you can pause it, you can, go back and forth.
And the best part about our the Vistaprint is that they send them for you. So you don't even see the postcards. So they've actually changed their interface since we've done this like video, but the gist is the same. So I always choose to upload my design. You can choose between the 4.5 by 5, and we give you the 5.5 by 8.5 as well. I chose the larger one because if you can swing it and pay that little bit more money for those postcards, they're going to stand out more just because they're bigger and people notice them. They're not going to get lost in the shuffle of the mail.
Yeah, Alex, I think you're right. I don't know if any of you just as a consumer get postcards from other realtors, but I do a lot, and most people send those little postcards. They're fine. But when you get one that's bigger and larger, and we try to have great images for you, it really does make a big difference.
And the reason on the 4.5, the one that's a little bit smaller, why we leave like a blank spot down here is because this ends up covering it. So that's why it has that when you typically go in there, because whether you're sending it by mail, your own way with the smaller postcard, that's always going to get lost. And the last thing you want is to send out a postcard and your contact information not be visible. So that's as easy as it is to pop in our designs after you've edited it. Obviously, you can look at it back and front, make sure that it looks great. go in and continue. The final steps are, I usually just do the standard thickness and then the base, and they look really good with the glossy. And then I go into quantity. So you can choose however many you want. And obviously it's going to be a little bit more expensive because when you're sending it out based on postage. So when you go in to add your mailing list, you can upload a list and it'll give you this template. So you can actually download this template right here and put in all of the information. Honestly, the main things you need are your first name and last name separated. They have to be separate. It will not work if you try to upload as them all together. And then you just have to have the address listed out separately from the city, the state, and the zip code. So once you upload your design, or once you upload your list, and I go into my mailing list, it has everything that I've ever saved or sent anything to. So did I choose one? Yes, I must have chosen a list. And then you can choose either first class postage, the rush. You can do a typical, I just do the first class, which is standard. And then if they've moved, you can choose, or current resident, you can choose if they want to. Like, so if you're sending out to a farm and you don't have their names and it's going to just say current resident, do not choose what if the recipient moved to do deliver to current resident, because it'll say current resident or current resident. So make sure that you just notify it and return it yourself, if that makes sense.
Guys, so the way, while we do this, like on the first day of the month or the very beginning of the month, and when we do those newsletters, we send out those newsletters immediately. But again, right after that, we're doing the postcards because that delivery is 5 to 12 days. So typically it's going to hit them, close to 2 weeks after. So it's just a nice mid-month touch. So even though you get everything done in that first week, everything is spread out because of the mailing times.
Exactly. And same with pop buys too, because if you're ordering the pop buys, you're going to have to put them together. So that's going to be different as well. So you can choose, like for this month, because I know I'm pop buys to my entire database, or the mail buys, if you will. I'm going to send this postcard just to my farm so that I'm not spending double of the money if they're going to be getting something for me like that actually has a small gift in it. So, and you can always use, like, they have different, when you go to checkout with Vistaprint, there's always some sort of coupon code that you can use, whether it be like VP Save 15, I think that's one that works. Or if you Google Vistaprint, they're always going to have something. And once you become a member and have an email address, they'll send them to you as well, because sometimes they do like 50% off. I think this one, let me check. So it's not off the mailing price, but it saved me some money off of the the actual printing price. So that is how you do that. And if you ever have any trouble with uploading a list, let us know. Just make sure that it has those particular, I guess, pieces in it, where it's the first name separated from the last name. That's one of the most important. And this mail by this month, which we love, is great because you don't have to order bubble mailers. You don't have to spend money on the postage for the bubble mailers. You can send it in a card.
People love this. I feel like we get the greatest response from this every single year.
Oh yeah, it is something that, I mean, even if $1 scratch off is huge, people love the $1 scratch offs. So you can choose whichever one you want to go. You can do it just like an appreciation pop by, where you're just saying, I'm so lucky to have clients like you. You can do this one, which is don't let your friends and family gamble on the sales price. And really there's so many different options that you can choose from. And then we also give you all of the steps right here. So you can, with this one, you can get just a regular postage envelope on, or whatever size we have. What do we have it as? 6x9. So you can get a smaller one as well. You can send it out in the postage. Some people, like I have a coworker who's sending it out with like the chocolate gold coins, if you want to make it extra special for like the kids, if you have people with families. But when you go in and these dollar scratch offs, that's the most probably annoying part about this pop by is that, or mail by, keep saying Popeye, is that you actually have to go out and get those. You can't just order them online like we usually do. So normally we'll give you a link to order them. But these you do have to go to like your local kiosk, gas station, something like that.
If
We
you guys
usually-
are not, I'm sorry, go ahead,
Go
Sharon.
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, when we order our envelopes on these too, we usually order green envelopes, like bright green ones if we can, just because it sticks out a little extra. We don't want this like someone just kind of tossing this one in the mail because they are so fun.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that this link is updated with the actual
Yeah,
envelopes.
that's the wrong link. That one needs to be, that's the bubble envelope.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that those are done. But this is the easiest one to do, and it's super fun and super like people love it. So
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're not already doing these, you're missing a huge opportunity, and it might feel a little bit overwhelming. But the great part is that we've already done the hard part of the template. We're trying to give you the links and make it as easy as possible. And if you order it at the beginning of the month, and then, once everything comes in, that's about a week later or so. And just, have your kids assemble them and put them together, make it something fun that you can do together. Or maybe there's a neighborhood high school kid that you want to throw them $10 and say, hey, could you put all these together for me? That might be like something fun that they could do to help out. And then you're not actually the one who's putting them all together if you feel stressed out about that. But I know Alex can verify, and honestly, actually, I get these cute little Popeyes from Shara as well. My kids love them. It makes the biggest impact. You cannot even believe what kind of an impact it makes for this simple effort, even if it's only once a quarter. But like Alex said, this one's huge. This one is like a must do this month.
Yeah.
And this is one that you can also do easily if you wanted to mail by for cheap to your neighborhood. So if you wanted to farm your neighborhood with something like this, we have a template in there where your luck's about to change. That one is good because you can also just send it in an envelope. So you don't have to actually worry about spending a little bit more money on the mailing. So those are our three most important, well, not other than social media. Those are like the three bases of the plan. We also have events that you can do. We recommend having or hosting at least 2 events a year. What that might be, I mean, we also recommend doing them in your slower season as well, just because if you try to do everything at once in the height of the market, you're going to be going crazy. You'll drive yourself nuts. But with our events, we give you all of the templates to send out a social media blast for your postcards. If you wanted to send a postcard invite, for flyers, if you wanted to print one of these door hangers and invite your neighborhood. So everything is all here, and very easy to implement if you want to do it. And we try to make it as cheap as possible, but as fun as possible. So
yeah, actually, I just realized that our March event is not live right now. I need to get that live. We have a really cute, Brews, Bites, and Real Estate Advice event this month that is just adorable. So I'll get that live in a few minutes here. So that one's, I didn't even realize it wasn't live yet.
And guys,
get on that.
Anytime you are doing an event, always kind of reach out to your preferred lenders, to your title company, to your home inspection company, and ask them if they can co-sponsor the event, right? Like, even if it's like throw in a couple $100, most of the time, they're going to be absolutely willing to do it. The other thing is too, if you're an individual agent and this feels like just a little bit too much with the events, talk to your office, your brokerage, your market center, and see if you can collectively do an event. And we have a lot of different ideas on here that some are better for like larger scale than others. But, it's part of your entire year marketing strategy. So just, take a little bit of time. And if that just feels a little bit too much, just know that, there's other ways to do it. We definitely doing an office level event is a great option.
yeah, we love that too. Or partnering with a few different individual agents or doing something where it's more than just you. But remember to write it off regardless. It is an expense that you can add to your taxes as a write-off.
Mm-hmm.
So now social media for posting, I'm going to hand this off to Angie because she is the best person at explaining this.
Let's get into social media. We want to make sure that you're using the fastest techniques possible, and that is using Facebook connected to your Instagram account. The great news is that in our social media section, we show you how to do it. The first step is to make sure you have a business Facebook and a business Instagram. We give you instructions to make sure you have both of those set up. All right. The next thing is to connect them together. Once you have those things connected, you get to use Facebook as a scheduling tool. It's free and it will auto post in advance to Facebook and to Instagram. There's other ways to do it. This is what we found is the fastest. So I'm going to pop over into social media. So you can see we have several different styles to choose from. I'm going to stick with Inspire Me today, just because I already have that one downloaded on my computer. If you want to be posting exactly what we already have prepared for you, you can download our images right to your computer or to your phone. You can copy the text right from here, especially if you just want to be posting every day. That's the fastest way to do it. If you're going to do this, toggle back and forth each day to Facebook and to Instagram. I want to keep you from doing that because I think that it's a waste of time. But if you want to do that, you can. The best thing to use is our Canva link. We give you all of our content every single month. It's a huge asset. The best thing about this is a lot of people want to put their logo on every post. It's honestly pretty easy to do. Once you have your logo in Canva, you literally just slide it around. Oops, I lost it. You slide it around here. I have a Mac, so I do Command C to copy it, but you can also just right click and copy. And then you can literally just move to each post and paste your logo on there. I kind of like to move it around. I'm a little bit picky about where I put things, so I move it around. I would copy it to each and every page. You can change the colors pretty easily. If you're into navies, maybe you don't love that we use black on everything. Maybe you like navy. So you can actually just change all of those black overlays to navy. Let's say the same thing with my text. Maybe I want all navy text. So I change it one time to navy. I click change all. And then throughout my entire social set, all of these will be navy. Go through the entire social set. You can also see every post is named by the date that it needs to be posted. Okay, once I have every post looking beautiful, just the way I want them to look. Next, I want to download all of these images to my computer. Okay. And I would just say use a JPEG. If you're doing the free version, it won't let you bump the quality up, and that's okay. If you are using the paid version, bump the quality up. Why not? And just download all to your computer. You're going to toggle back and forth between Facebook and this Canva social media set. So here I am in my business page. I'm going to go over here to publishing tools to create a post. All right. So here I am. You can see that everything is connected. You can see that your Facebook and your Instagram is connected together. All right. That is beautiful. I want to select them both. I'm going to hop back over to Canva. Here is my text. I'm just going to copy this. For me, it's Command C, or you could right click and copy. Okay. Either way, that's easiest for you. Hop back over to Facebook. I'm going to put my text in here. Boom. Then I'm going to add my photo. Now, I know from Canva that this is going to be posted on the 1st of the month. Okay. So when I'm copying this, I kind of take note of what day I'm working on right now. I'm working on the 1st of the month, but I already have the images downloaded onto my computer. So I upload that, and you can get a nice preview of what it's going to look like on Facebook. You can get a preview of what it's going to look like on Instagram. And then I'm going to go down here, and I'm not going to click publish now. I could, but I'm just going to schedule it. We're going to practice what it looks like to schedule. This is already March 1st, so I don't really need to mess with anything. You would just go ahead and click save and then click schedule post. All right. So I'm even talking, and this took me less than a minute. All right, let's do it again. Let's go to the next day. So I'm going to scroll down. Best kept secrets to selling your home. This is actually a great post. I love this one. So let's pop back over to our to Facebook, to our publishing tools. Create post, click Facebook and Instagram, paste our text in here, and add our image. So I'm going to go over here. I know that it's named by the second, so I know that it's the correct post. I always like to do a little preview. If you're kind of thinking, oh, wait, do I like these tips or not? Am I okay with this? You can go in here and you could edit this. You could take something out if you feel like it's too long. You could add your own flair on here. You could add, another, pro tip or whatever. You could add your own hashtags. So you can add any of that, or you don't have to. Again, I would just go in here, schedule post. I'm going to hit the second.
I mean, listen, I got to be honest, guys. Even myself, I mean, this can be overwhelming. I mean, I totally get it. what I would recommend, guys, is like, we can't take, if you go from 0, you really don't have anything planned out right now. Let's just take it step by step, right? You don't have to implement everything right now, but have a game plan to implement things across, the rest of the year, right? Where so today, if you just take one step and you do nothing other than, setting up your, a constant contact so that you guys can get situated on your newsletters, like just do one thing and make sure you get at least one thing done.
Yeah, that's a great point. Try and focus on one thing. And then once you start doing it, it'll just, you'll get so used to it and it'll be so easy to do.
So we have a couple of questions here on the chats, guys. So we want to get answers here for you. So what frequency do you recommend posting per week? So we typically post anywhere on our planned posts. We have anywhere to 4 to 5, usually a week. And then also you should be adding other things in there as you kind of go through your week, right? So whether you're doing stories, whether you're doing reels, like whatever you're kind of doing, we're fortunate to be in a career where there's entire television channels around what we do on a daily basis, right? So we have content everywhere we go with everything we do on a daily basis. But I would at least get those like 4 to 5 kind of planned per week. And then if you get busy and you don't remember to add something in, whether it's a just listed, just sold, under contract, picture of a model home, whatever it is, then at least you have that basis. And that's kind of what I think is just the most important, is to always have that baseline of things being posted, because we get busy and we forget. Always happens.
Yep.
And I wanted to show you, this is an example of one of our clients. And when he has extra time, actually, I think he does at the beginning of the month, he uses our video scripts. And you can see he had 155 views on his video. He just used one of our video scripts. He doesn't overthink it. He doesn't try to be perfect. And, I think there's some realness to that people love. So I think having a feed that's beautiful and showing realness, especially on your reels, your stories, I think it really has some great value to that. And like Shara said, the consistency makes a big difference, setting it up in advance. So when you get busy, you don't have to think about it. It really, makes a huge difference.
And don't get stuck on like how many people are following you or how many people are commenting on anything like that, because people use social media like they use Google right now, right? They're looking you up. They're not going to commit to liking your page or to following you, but they're looking you up always. So we have another question here. Should I turn my personal Facebook page into a business page? Great question. I personally have 2. So I have my business page and I have my personal page.
I don't think you can do that with Facebook.
You can't turn it into.
You can't turn it into. Yeah.
I think the only advantage now, Alex, I'm sorry if you have a different version of this, but I think the only advantage to having a business page, it does add legitimacy to you, right? Having a business page on all of these platforms adds legitimacy. But if you want to do that auto posting feature, you have to have the business page on your Facebook and your Instagram. Alex, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, so you can change your Instagram into a business page, not your Facebook. You have to have a separate page within your page, I guess, within your Facebook. But the benefit, I guess, it depends on who you are when it comes to either creating a new Instagram business page or just converting your current personal one to a business page, because you can do that as well. And it's really, I personally have my everything combined, because that's who I am. I know I'm also going to post personal pieces on that page, because people just know that I eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. Whereas if you're like, Shara, for instance, she has, I think you have 2 separate pages. And she only posts her personal page on her personal, because again, if you have like kids or family that you don't want to have, out to the world, because when your business page, you should have it public. It should not be private, so that everyone can look you up just like they would be able to with Google. So
I think that's a real problem to have them private, because that's just, it's like a roadblock for someone. They want to look you up. It's private. They're probably not going to request to follow you. So that's a really easy roadblock. actually, Sabrina had a great question that I don't know that I know the answer to. Sabrina, I love your reels. I think you're doing an awesome job. We all follow you. We think that you're awesome. We love that you use some of our content. But I know you moved to a creator setting, and that does thwart efforts, I believe, for auto posting content. So Alex, do you have any tips for that? I don't know that I have tips for auto posting in particular, because I do know that I think Instagram has kind of shut that down once you move to a creator.
Yeah, we're
setting.
still like everyone. I think a lot of people are still fighting that with Instagram right now because they're doing this creator account, but they're not allowing you to do the normal things that you should be able to do.
I know Sharon and Alex both do a great job of this. And a lot of our agents that I follow do the same thing. When they're at a house that's beautiful or weird or ugly or whatever, they post about it in their stories. It's real, it's authentic, it gets great engagement. You can also share your own posts from your feed to your stories. That's very effective and very easy. Alex and Sharon, do you guys have any tips about that? I know you guys are both great at your stories.
If you have an assistant, you can also give your assistant access so that they could post as well. So that, that's one way to add additional leverage if you do have someone who could help you out with that.
Yeah, I would say just like, I know that we're always like in the thick of it when we're in showings and we're going through with our clients, but like, don't be afraid to just like have fun. And like, I think Angie or Shara said earlier, there's a whole network on real estate. So people want to see it and people love it. I mean, so when you're walking through a beautiful home, or when you see something really nifty, or if it's like super weird, as long as you're okay with, like, as long as there's no laws in your state or township or whatever it may be that says that you can't post something that's not your listing, I would post away, because they just love it.
And sometimes we just, again, we get busy and we forget. So one way that you can kind of train yourself into doing this is set alarms on your phone so that, your alarm goes off and it's like, just maybe it's 3 times a day, or maybe it's like once a day or twice a day. And it's like, post a story, right? Just a reminder. And like, literally, again, with our crazy schedules, like you can go post anything that you're doing at that moment. And if you don't have anything and you're home on your computer, like, checking out homes for my new clients, or awesome new house just got listed in my town for under 500, or whatever it may be. And just take a picture of your computer that you're on. So there's just a lot of different things you can do. And it's just about, being consistent with that though. See, any other questions, or is there anything that anybody's struggling with that we can see here? Can you drop in the link for scheduling posts?
It's already in the portal. That's the best place to look for it. Go to social media, and then easy ways to post your social media. And we basically have a general tutorial, and then these individual ones that break it down. If you watch this and you're like, wait, I got a little lost, these are each really quick with step-by-step instructions. So head to the portal into social media and take a look at how to do that.
And
once
actually,
you get set up, really easy.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, too, guys, if this is like, I need to focus on my real estate business, I don't have an extra hour where I can do this. We also do auto posting options. So to me, that was a game changer in my life when we started to auto post, because sometimes I would be consistent and then I would do half a month and then I would do a month, and I would be, you just get busy. I get it. So we do have the auto posting as well as an option. So if this is, just something that, is not your forte, or you don't have time to do it, leverage it, right? That's what we're here for. We're here to provide you guys with the leverage that we know you need, because we need it too. So we feel the pain.